Thank you very much. Be seated, please. And now I would like to introduce the king and queen from the crew of West Tampa. First king, Charlie Miranda. First queen, Elise Tramontano. And now the officers and board of directors. Myself as the president of the crew of West Tampa. Vice President Elaine Fernandez. Secretary Natasha Montero. Treasurer Amanda Stevens. Board of Directors Anna Ramos, Chloe Cabrera, Lisa Garcia, Jean Stevens, Jancy Chucho, Jennifer Chucho, and Cindy Taselli. And now I would like, I would like to give out the President Award and the Service Award. Get the service award. Okay, the Service Award, President Award, these people has been, every time we call them, they're always there for us. It goes to the Four Seasons Flowers and Design, John Thomas. President Award. Oh boy. This person, I'm telling you, if she doesn't give me a gun and shoot me, every time I call her, like 50 times a day, she's always there for me. Amanda Stevens. The next President Award, this one goes to, every time I called her, like 6 times, she calls me. We're back and forth. I feel like one of these days she'll answer the phone and say, "What the hell you want now?" But anyway, Anna Ramos. Okay, and next, that's it for me. I'm going to turn it over to Tony Morejon and Chloe Cabrera, that she's not here yet. She's on her way.
Thank you, Mr. President. How about a hand for the President here? This is a hard job. And he does it so well. Hey, this is a party for West Tampa. I want people on the top of this building complaining about, Coño, those West Tampa people are too loud. Let me hear it. Right. You know, it's an amazing thing when you come to something like this and you see so many familiar faces from West Tampa. Oh yeah. And the first king, you couldn't have picked a better one. If you were to put a Wikipedia picture of West Tampa, it'd be Charlie. How about it, Charlie? Let's have a hand for our man, Charlie. Happens to be my neighbor, and every time I do something in my yard, the city comes and gives me a paper. I'm like, "Coño, Charlie, not home." Keeps me straight, keeps me straight. Well, we're having a good time tonight. Chloe's on her way from Orlando, so as with all beautiful women, I'll be right there. I'm on my way. Claro. That's the way it is. But we're talking about Latin heritage. Cubans, Spaniards, Sicilians. You know, we snuck a couple of Germans in there, and great Americans, all of us together. And West Tampa is a beautiful place. I live there, not far from Charlie's house. And it's a beautiful place to live and a beautiful place to party. So congratulations for being a part of a great organization. If you're not a member of the crew, tonight's the night. This is a growing crew. They need members. They need people who say, hey, you know what? It's time. It's time to show. All right. Well, we have our outgoing queen, Elise Falata Tremontana. Did I say that right? I got it. All right. An outgoing king, Charlie Miranda. They're going to call them up to the stage, which they already are, and they're going to give farewell speeches. So let's make your way here. Let's have the queen first. Charlie's a gentleman. The king, but a gentleman. How about a hand for the queen?
Good evening and welcome to the 2019 second annual Crew of West Tampa Coronation. The first king, Tampa City Councilman Charlie Miranda, and myself, the first queen, Elise Favada Tramontana, have participated in many events, parades, crew coronations, charity benefits, and civic events. They have all been the highlights of our year. There was never a dull moment at the Queen's Castle with King Charlie's larger-than-life personality. I love you, Charlie. I have had the privilege of representing two organizations. As a college student, the 58th Queen of the Latin American Fiesta Association, and presently the Queen of the Crew of West Tampa. The stage has been set and history's made for the royalty that follows. We have promoted our Latin culture and goodwill with dignity and grace. I'm especially proud to be of Sicilian American descent. A special thanks to my family, friends, and parade partners, the crew of the Buffalo Soldiers, Crew International, Crew Italia, and the Latin American Fiesta Association for all of their support. It was an honor to represent the Crew of West Tampa and the great city of Tampa during my reign. Viva El Rey, Viva La Reina, and Viva America.
Well, what an evening. I tell you what, as I stand here, I looked at the Queen, and you know, when we did the parades and all that, the only reason I went, because she made me look good on that car. Everybody was looking at her, the hell with Charlie, they said, but look at the eyes, look at the hair, and look at everything else. And me, what hair, what eyes, and nothing here, there's nothing pretty about me. But when I look at the crowd now, I see all these beautiful women. And I don't know where you picked up these guys at, but they don't look so good. But it's a pleasure to be here and to thank all the organizations. And of all the organizations that the Queen mentioned, it sticks in my mind about the Buffalo Soldiers. You see, this is an embryonic crew that just starting, and the Buffalo Soldiers didn't give us a hand up. They held us up. They brought us into their float, gave us a ride in the parade, and I'll never forget the kindness and the way they treated all of us. And in the parade, they were getting most applause, more likely more than the Gaspar himself. They have done an outstanding job for many years, and I want to say thank you to all the members of the Buffalo crew. And you've chosen a beautiful queen, and the king, well, you know, he's a very nice guy. And in case you have a bail problem, call him, he's right here. He's a great guy, and I look at the audience, and I see guys that every day, when we play dominoes, they call me all kind of names. So will you please stand up, the guys that call me names? Stand up, all of you. Stand up, all of you. See all those guys? They call me come mierda. Now it's my turn. That guy standing up on the right, he cheats. But he's not really cheating. You know, we have a contest, and once in a while, just before we have day and night council, I'll go by the domino place and play a game or two, so when I get to City Hall, I'm relaxed, because they've already warmed me up for what's coming. And you have to look at life like that. It's an honor to have been chosen your first king. I had a wonderful, wonderful year with the Queen. At least she's a wonderful young lady. And everyone in the crew, like the Queen said, you cannot build an organization unless you have members. And I like just for some of you to think about being a member. It's a wonderful thing. It's about helping West Tampa. And in essence, you're helping the city of Tampa. And believe me, we need help. But thank you for allowing me to be here this evening with you. Hey, excuse me, when I'm speaking, there's no laughing over there. And I don't mean to take up too much time, but his uncle, when we were growing up, wanted to kill me. Am I right? You see, I was playing baseball in Cascade Park. I'll tell you a little story. And his uncle kept badgering me when I was warming up. So I looked at him and I threw a baseball, hit him right in the hand. The only problem, he was 6'4", 220. And I could still outrun him, so I didn't care about that. But thank you for being here. Thank you. I want to thank the members of this organization, the Anthony and his lovely wife, and the members that have all done an outstanding job to make it what it is today. God bless each and every one of you. Have fun, enjoy yourself. Life is very short. Enjoy yourself every day, because it's a wonderful place to be in the city of Tampa. And I'm most proud to be a citizen of the United States of America. I know we're going through troubled times. The whole world is like that. But with you and your help, we'll make it out, and we'll be all right for the future, for your kids and grandkids. God bless you all. And look at the Four Seasons. I was looking for Frankie Valli when I got here.
Let's give the king a big hand. Que viva el rey. Oh, we're about to have some fun tonight. Oh yeah. Brothers and sisters, are you ready? Tanto miedo, what's up? Give these people some rum. Wake up with Tampa, let's go. All right, I'm gonna call up a friend of mine, not because he's a friend of mine, but he is in the program tonight. He is an inspiration to a lot of people that grew up in West Tampa and hang out in West Tampa. I call him a tigre blanco, the white tiger. He's an attorney by day, and about 5 o'clock he turns into this animal that makes you sweat and beat up bags and punch and do all kinds of good stuff. A great trainer, and he practices what he preaches. Anthony Gonzalez, come on up to the stage, sir. Give him a hand. Anthony's a lawyer by trade. So he's also a physical fitness addict, let's say that, as you can tell. And he's kept all his hair. I really admire him for that. What do you think about that? Hey, my cousin David, what do you think about that? Tiene todo su pelo. We're like, okay. So he's up at the stage, and he and the beautiful Jennifer Chucho will also crown the new king and queen. All right? Let's get going. I will announce the scepter bearers, I should say, Addison Junca and Lola Morejon. Come on up, ladies. Young babies, give them a hand. Beautiful girls. Coming up to the stage. Smile, look at your mom and dad. Beautiful. Lola, come on up. Handle Lola. Hi, Lola. Addison Junco is the daughter of Camilo Junco and Tiffany Cueto. Lola Morejon, yeah, how about a hand for the parents? They did a good job. Lola Morjan, or Morejon, is the daughter of David, my cousin David, and Shirley Morejon. How about a hand for them as well? Beautiful young ladies. The crowns were presented by Sandro Hernandez and Gio Pastra Nostro. Come on up, guys. Give them a hand. Wearing their official West Tampa uniform. I love it. Come on up. Now to introduce this year's king, another famous face from West Tampa, another lawyer as well, an attorney, another, one of these good guys. He has a whole lot to say about the king. I can't wait to hear this. Ronnie D'Arrigo, come on up, give him a hand. Oh wait, he's gotta go get the paralegal. Come here, help me out. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, here's Mr. D'Arrigo.
Good evening. I'm very excited about this because I get to introduce a real good friend of mine. My name's Ronnie D'Arrigo, and I grew up in West Tampa. Well, West Tampa Reserve, Wellswood. And listen, for all you West Tampa guys around Columbus, that's a joke that comes from that king right there. Frank Cueto is a good friend of mine. He was born and raised on Palmetto Street. Three of his grandparents are Cuban descendants, but were born in Tampa. His mother is Benita Gonzalez, is her maiden name, Rodriguez. And I just love saying her name, Benita. She still lives in Palmetto, on Palmetto Avenue, because we go see her on a regular basis. Frank's father is deceased, was Frank Cueto. Frank attended St. Joseph Elementary Junior High School, where he was awarded best penmanship in the 3rd grade. Frank, right? I mean, you weren't. And if you see his penmanship, it's beautiful. No, it is. And by the way, Charlie, that's the shortest speech you'll ever hear from Charlie Miranda. And Charlie, you look pretty good today. Where are you, Charlie? You look good today. Because usually when you come to the Domino shop and to the cigar store, you look like shit. But you look good today, but not as good as Frank Cueto does. Because when Frank was at St. Joseph, Margaret will agree with me that Frank is probably one of the smartest guys you will ever meet and talk to. Hand to God. The problem with Frank is he's got ADD. He is what Margaret and I would refer to as a genius savant. If he wants to be interested in a subject, he'll be interested. His favorite game show, Margaret, Jeopardy. And he's great at it. You would think that he would watch the shows before and then play it back and get the answers right. But he's just a bright guy. Frank went and attended Tampa Catholic, then went on to graduate from Jefferson High School in 1975. Frank and I often go to lunch and go visit Bonita on Palmetto Street. And every time we drive in the neighborhood, Frank's got this memory that's unbelievable. That's where Ronnie Galileo lived next door to me. I'm so sick of Ronnie Galileo and about where he lived. And then the Perinos lived there. The Richards lived on the corner. Stan's hobby shop was at the corner of Armenia and Erna. The guy knows everything. He played baseball as a youngster at West Tampa Little League, like most of you, except for me and Andrew, who we played at Wallswood. That would be West Tampa Reserve. Thank you, have a nice day. He played for my uncle, Charlie Rotolo, for a Lacey Bakery. Yep, and he was the right fielder. And if anybody knows anything about right field, it's the kid that really doesn't have that much athletic ability. And Frank will absolutely agree with that. But the one thing that Frank did have, Charlie, he had the first set of white shoes, cleats, at West Tampa, and white belt. So he's always been able to dress. One of the things that we always talk about is that Frank matches from head to toe and even underwear. Okay, he goes out of his way to match everything. One of the favorite things that Frank loved doing at West Tampa was play faja. Everybody remember what faja was? I don't, because I came from West Tampa Reserve. We weren't so savage-like. We played cup ball. But the savages at West Tampa played faja. They hit each other with belts. But he's got fond memories of it. He also attended West Tampa Boys Club on a regular basis. Frank went into the family business after graduating from high school around 1975, and he's been in the business successful for the last 42, 43 years. His kids have followed in the same business, Frankie Jr. and Tiffany. He's joined tonight by his other half. I would refer to her as his better half, Margaret Price, or Rodriguez Price. One of the things that, we've talked about Frank's, and I'm sorry, this is getting long, but you know what? They told me to read his bio, but I couldn't do it. I've been friends with him too long, and it just wouldn't be right if I didn't get to it. And he's standing there and he's having a fit right now because he's the center of attention, and I know it's bothering you too bad. Frank is that individual, John, Frank's that individual that he still remembers commercials from 1970. National Auto
Supermarket at 1711 East Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa.
So that's what I deal with every day. Frank's got 4 children, Tiffany, Lauren, Jessica, and Frankie. He's got several grandchildren, I think 8 total. The great thing about Frank is that he's got this true belief, this desire to be a great part of West Tampa. You don't understand, he travels a lot. As a matter of fact, him and Margaret are going to be celebrating their 10th anniversary next week. And actually Frank's and Margaret are going to New Orleans. I convinced Frank to spend the money and take her to New Orleans for their anniversary. Margaret, you got me to thank for that. And Frank and Margaret know what I mean by that, because Frank on a regular basis will take credit with my wife on gifts I buy her. He'll call her and says, you got me to thank for that. Just more money. He's got this strong belief about being a great community person. It's not so much that he wants to lead that community, but the bottom line is he believes in West Tampa. I'll give you an example. Juan Santayana's present. He used to own Amaryllis, which is now part of or Stadium Cafe. They're on Tampa Bay, almost at Himes. And Juan opened that store, or that restaurant up a couple of years ago, probably about 10 years ago. And the one thing that Frank wanted to make sure that the people that go to breakfast with him every morning was to make sure that we patronize that particular restaurant to make sure that he could get it going. And he does that with a lot of different stores and restaurants in West Tampa because that's how much he believes and loves that community. And that's what's great about Frank. He's also given to many little leagues, travel teams, travel baseball teams, travel softball teams. He's so devoted to his friends that a lot of them are here today, sitting back there in the corner where they deserve to be. Yeah, shoot birds, that's nice. That's why you're all over in the corner. I may want to go talk to them. Wait, Frank, because they may want to say something to you. Is this bothering you that I'm taking this long? Too bad. So, back here we have Randy, and where's Joe Lebrano? Joe's outside? Joe and Randy are part of Vincent and Company midget basketball team. Then you have Mario Garrido, who most people don't understand. Andrew, most people don't know that we're related. The problem is he's dyslexic. He doesn't know the D comes before the G. And you may notice him, he was Big Bird for the Latin Sesame Street. Then if you ever want to find Frank anywhere for lunch, it's either Cacciatore's, Stadium Cafe, but most of the time, 5 days a week, it's Cacciatore's. Or at Vincent and Company for coffee. I'm getting the axe, Frank. Don't worry about it. I'm coming back. And listen, hey, Mark, free lunch because I mentioned your restaurant. I got it. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. All right, you told me to do this. There are two things that Frank does not like: tea, iced tea, hot tea, whatever, and slapstick comedy. Can't stand it. There are many things that Frank Cueto loves. He loves Margaret, he loves his kids, his family, and he loves his community, West Tampa. Congratulations, your new king, Frank Cueto, and just remember, 221 Baylor.
Kind of looks like the Pope. I love you, Frankie. Congratulations. All right. Now I'm going to call up Ryan Martin so he can introduce his mother, the Queen. Give him a hand.
Hola, mi gente. That speech will be hard to follow, that speech roast combo. I have the pleasure of speaking about my mother tonight, who I always knew was a queen. So I'm glad that she gets to be recognized for that tonight. So, Ileana de Leon Martin was born in Havana, Cuba. In 1967, her family immigrated to the United States with nothing but the clothes on their backs. Ileana's father, my grandfather, Luis de Leon, was a pharmacist in Cuba. And after moving to the United States and working 3 jobs, he saved enough money to open up his own pharmacy. Some of you might have known my grandfather. He's very well known in the West Tampa community. His pharmacy was Louis Pharmacy, and it was located right on Hillsborough Avenue. Ileana's father was such a huge inspiration to her and instilled such a strong sense of work ethic by his examples. At the age of 23, Ileana started the Hispanic Yellow Pages, also known as the Directorio en Español, in her modest home office, which consisted of 2 filing cabinets and a door on top as a desk. She grew the Hispanic Yellow Pages from a small startup in Tampa to markets in Orlando, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Houston, Texas. Between 1989 and 2004, Directorio en Español grew into a multi-million-dollar entity with over 300 employees. As the clientele base increased, Ileana also established a new advertising agency, the Hispanic Advertising Specialists, known today as Mañana Marketing. She's a proud professional in the community service, and she's received many community service awards and recognitions over the years because her commitment to excellence goes beyond serving the client and deep into the fabric of our communities. Ileana is one of the founders of organizations like HPWA, HBI, HBIF. She was a president on the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce for 4 years and has sat on over 15 boards throughout the greater Tampa area. Received many awards throughout the years for her hard work and dedication to the community. From her positive outlook for the future to her passion in continuing to serve our community, Ileana is an inspiration to us all. She has shown that through her work with persistence, strong moral values, and the willingness to succeed, the American dream is very well alive. Thank you.
Oye, come on, this is Miss Tampa. What is this? Dale, que se oiga. Coño, no joda. That was good. The crew has chosen very wisely. These are two great people, and I mean it not because they're friends of mine, they both are. I admire them both for what they've done in their fields. Incredible. I had to tell them to cut down some of the stuff because I know all the things they've done. We'd be here all night just talking about the stuff they've done, the great accomplishments. Okay, now if you're a dignitary from another crew and you come to pay your respect to our king and queen, please meet Mr. Chucho outside in the hallway, and we're going to present you in a minute. In the meanwhile, got it?
Got it.
I'll turn this over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mine is going to be very short and sweet. I'd like to present something to a person that is never recognized and we sometimes forget, but he's always there for us. And the crew of West Tampa would like to present to Anthony Chucho a little gift of our appreciation.
Dignitaries are ready. Mr. Chucho. Okay. You could eat your salad though, don't think I'm planning. This is West Tampa. I already ate mine because I know how it goes. Just in case I have to run out. You don't never know with Frankie here, we might have to bail. How about it? Wanted to take this moment again to thank our good friend Mr. Gonzalez. Come visit the White Tiger. Come sweat with us. How about it, Anthony? You have anything else to say about the king and queen? Come up and step.
Don't worry, Frankie. I won't do to you what Ronnie did. Honestly, you couldn't have picked the crew of West Tampa, two better people. I've known Frank for a while. He's a sharp guy. He's a great businessman. Eliana the same. And so you made wise choices this time to represent your crew. And Viva el Rey y la Reina.